Somewhere in the jungles of Central Africa, there is a band of ruthless killers on the move. They're known as the Lord's Resistance Army, and their brutal leader, Joseph Kony, has evaded capture for more than 20 years. I'm traveling with the Ugandan army en route to join a patrol, hunting Joseph Kony. Kony's Lord's Resistance Army, or LRA, has been fighting to turn Uganda into a theocratic state, and in the process, they've killed almost 3,000 villagers in this region in just the last 2 years. Hellen Lanyon cares for her grandchildren in a small village near the town of Gulu. Her only son was a government soldier, and one day the LRA came looking for him. Her maiming was carried out by child soldiers. This is Kony's native land, where he first built the LRA by kidnapping children from the region of Gulu and giving them guns. At the height of the conflict, this hospital courtyard was the only safe place in Gulu. 10,000 children slept here every night for years.
Because rebels would come at night, surround the whole village, and take the children of a certain age that they would need to fill in their rank, to recruit them by force or to abduct them.
I leave Uganda, and after a long, hard drive, I finally reach the shared border of southern Sudan and the Central African Republic. This region is now the staging ground for the Hunt for Kony's LRA. Getting this far is a rare opportunity. I'm the first journalist to be allowed to follow this Ugandan army unit on their difficult mission.
There's a lot of forests, a lot of rivers, and it is really challenging terrain. You find that at times soldiers have to cut their way through a forest. It's not easy.
The operations map shows the LRA's recent attacks and the suspected path of Kony's men. With it, Colonel ELWELU attempts to make sense out of a 1,000 square kilometer game of hide and seek.
For 22 years, he has been in the bush, so he has some experience on how to elude forces, how to disperse, disappear, hide. He knows all these tactics, and it's not easy to get him. When you get him, then you're very lucky.
The helicopter ready, I set off for the front line to join the hunt. The forest below is the most uninterrupted stretch of bush that I have ever seen, vaster than even the rainforests of Borneo or the Amazon. There is not a human path, cooking fire, or hut for hundreds of kilometers. The helicopter could be heard for great distances in the quiet of the bush, which is one reason why the LRA must be tracked on foot.
You endanger the forces more when you put them to follow the same track of the enemy.
The commander in charge, Major Patrick, explains to me how we will be moving.
What you should do to avoid being trapped by the enemy, maybe when you near him, you can set ambush. So the best you can do is to cross crease like this.
But doesn't that mean that you have to move twice as fast as them?
Exactly.
Along with the men, I meet this gaunt but feisty dog. He's followed this unit all the way from the Congo, over 1,000 kilometers.
Iko mzuri kuwa na mbwa, yani na tulikuta sehemu ambayo ilikuwa inaishi watu walikuwa wamehama pale.
The trackers quickly pick up Kony's trail.
Everybody passes through the same grass, tends to turn it, and when it is hit by sun, it begins drying.
How many people pass this way?
Here it is about 80.
80 is the number of just this one unit of the Lord's Resistance Army. At its peak, the LRA may have reached 3,000, but currently it's weak. The soldiers tracking them march in silence from dawn till dusk, rarely drinking any water, resting a few minutes every 2 hours, for months or even years. Squad leader Captain Muhammad hasn't left the bush or seen his family for the last 18 months.
Captain, umekuwa ukimfuata Joseph Kony kwa muda gani?
Mimi niko naye tangu 86 wakati vita ya Kony hizi zianze.
After a few hours' hard march, the trackers notice a spot where Kony's rear flank waited in ambush before moving on.
This shows that they were resting here as the rear protection was actually setting an ambush for any eventuality from behind in case forces are tracking them.
And this food on the ground is an indication.
This is an indication. You know, even germination. Genat begin germinating after 2 days. And this is an indicator that these people passed here, most likely after 2 days.
There are also signs that children are still with Kony on the march. We continue tracking until we come upon the camp where Kony slept 2 nights ago.
When you see them preparing a dish like this chicken, that means they have a commander. This is for commander, and the commander slept around here.
After only a few moments' rest, we head off again. I begin to have some understanding how grueling this life must be, both for the soldiers and the men they're tracking.
Be buru kama be chaweng no kot tika goni chambe ne ken mo kana ka monti matek po be chama penera chiel nyario chia no po ne ti matek.
Over the years, some members of Kony's army have defected from his cause, and some of the abducted child soldiers, like this man, Amoni Joseph, have managed to escape. Amoni now lives at a rehabilitation center for ex-LRA soldiers.
Well, yeah, this is my room. I sleep well here. Even the mattress, the zaratan, even the small bed. A caraman dong adjoining Johnny. Gen tet the wakatamir wa bed care chap again ticker. Sukarmo oh it quarter. One man of Gilwain again ticker. She don't go chap pon waka politic ma megge work one who bet yalo lwen matalo again.
Wewe sasa ni mmoja wao na wewe ni hiyo ni familia yako.
Hiyo mimi nimekuwa huko
Nimeona hivyo.
Patrick McCassie is also a returnee, a former child soldier who has now joined the Ugandan army to assist the tracking effort and share his unique insights.
Kizuri yake ni katikati ya sisi kama sisi iko nama na kutafuta hiyo akili ingine naiongeza, kwa maana sisi tumekuwa huko pamoja na hao, tunajua akili ya hao yote, nama na hao wanataka kufanya na sisi vile tunajua.
Maaskari wako wengi wamefanya na kazi na watu wale walikuwa LRA wakarudi. Waweke wengine kwa timu yako. Utawaamini?
Mimi ninafurahi kufurahi, yani vile nao wako binadamu wenzi yangu ambao walikamata na nguvu, sio kusema ati hao walijipendelea kwenda kwa kichaka.
Kony's ability to constantly stay one step ahead has combined with his own peculiar Christian mysticism to fuel a widespread belief that Kony possesses magical powers.
Mapuno askar na waka ino no endo ngi kono no cha or cha itere ording no ente no tiara bi kete
ala dit kon aneno tie kitae kome pian gen ma wajo time exactly kita wajo kere kidong jem mo kana ma en mi chalo buro nyo mo ma ine nao chi dio chunyo e ket me digugang chi ada wa amoko ne tao tie kom la dit kon.
The soldiers tell me that Kony is able to hear conversations 500 kilometers away, that he can make his men invulnerable to bullets by smearing oil on a soldier's chest, and can even control nature itself. It doesn't take long to get some idea how the rumors of these powers get started.
So this is hard for even me to believe, but after being told a number of times that Joseph Kony can control swarms of bees, the entire camp, as soon as we made camp, was set upon by an incalculable amount of bees. So I don't know if they're Kony's bees or not, but no matter whose they are, they're deeply unpleasant.
But not all the soldiers are under Kony's spell.
Joseph Kony ana nguvu hata siku moja. Nguvu yake yenye amebakisha saa hii ni ya kumokoa ukimbia tu. Imekuwa mara mingi sana ambao tunapata contacts za grupu semo yeye ambao iko ndani yake, lakini yeye ndiye anakuanga mtu ya kwanza kukimbia.
Tracking Kony gets even harder in the pouring rain. Footprints get washed away and visibility decreases. The soldiers are on edge, and when night falls, the threat of an ambush grows. We hear another tracking unit has rescued 2 young girls, abandoned by the LRA when they could no longer keep up the march. I think back to a woman I met in ELWELU, and I'm afraid for what these 2 young girls may have suffered. Margaret was one of Joseph Kony's wives, a euphemism for the young women abducted and forced into sexual slavery. Since escaping, she spends her days knitting to earn a living, but for almost half her life, she was constantly on the move or in battle. Even Kony's wives were expected to fight.
One car madong wana o Sudan get training one kadi nga wa me chiara dog luain. Ento anti me cheng mana mo kani chiara luain. A nyu chwala ching.
When Margaret wasn't at the front line, she was held in a camp of up to 50 concubines. They cooked for the soldiers and cared for the many children fathered by Kony, surviving as best they could.
Me doggy anu Udo keno nera andan makom ano poyo. Kono no dinge wa koma ikini wanyu do ma no goya fot. En be an gar pa maro. Tiendo ka chele. Do beru go le ten kirdo wa ni ngo wa ma winyu la ka dong med gi en la mon gino wa jo pipari. Ka do wa gi moni ini kwer ti gi twer mi ne cha mo kan te tak do wa gi mo kan ti da winyu.
Another dawn, another early start. Kony seems to know that we're gaining on him and has gone to great lengths to confuse the trail in the night. The LRA is now weaving unpredictably, crossing the same river back and forth 3 times and splintering into smaller groups to throw us off the track.
Have you lost the track? No, we didn't. Because as they were crossing the river, they scattered. But ahead they have communicated that they have now got it united all together.
So we keep tracking?
We keep tracking.
That same day, we come across the clearest signs yet that Kony himself is up ahead. We find the tattered clothes of one of his abducted girls and a notebook.
So this is a speech by Kony to his
This
people.
is a speech by Kony, and one of those who attended the speech managed to copy it or write it down. And in the document, he's trying to encourage his fighters to be courageous, that a period for them dying in the battle has already ended.
This notebook is a glimpse into Kony's mind, and it has a visible impact on the trackers. They feel closer than ever, and they want to keep moving. But I've seen enough now to understand how this cat and mouse game continues. Kony's real magic being the ability to keep his men believing that they will win a war without clear battle lines or objectives. And the Ugandan soldiers leading to believe that Kony is just over the horizon and that they will soon be home. The men who rescued the 2 girls have moved through the night to join our force.
Watoto hii hali yao iko mbaya sana, mguu yote amekakatika katika, hata hao hapana tembea, ilikuwa umekuta walilala kulala.
Mary and Teresa Abba were abducted by Kony's men when their village was attacked a week ago. They were sexually assaulted and then forced to begin their long march. The girls have had a lucky escape. The soldiers are keen to make sure that Kony isn't as lucky.
Wale wako mbele yako wanaona ni kama wako siku moja nyuma ya Kony.
Na mimi natoka hapa naenda kuungana na wale kabisa, naenda kupiga huyo Kony.
Good luck, Captain. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
See you.
This is my last view of the soldiers before they take up the trail again. As we take off, the last of my confusion about why Kony has not been captured disappears. The jungle seems even more vast than when I first flew over it, and I can see now how Kony can disappear under any tree, into any river, under any rock, leaving his men and the jungle to cover his escape while he lives to fight another day.